Polaris Scrambler 90. This is my buddy's machine he bought for his kids. And he just brought it by to let me kind of go over it. I mean, see if we can't sort a few things out. It's got a lot of missing nuts and bolts and different little issues. We're going to take the plastics off of it and kind of give it a once over. Looks like the gas cap is broke. The oil reservoir cap is like such, which doesn't look right. There is no battery in it, although I do believe it has a starter motor on it. Front end alignment needs taken care of. I don't know if you can see this. They were jumping it and they broke that right there, and they welded it back together without taking it apart, so they didn't weld the whole thing. And when they did that, they got the alignment out of whack too. So we're going to take that apart and weld that up better for him. And it's kind of a funny deal. In order to get this front plastic off so you can get to all that stuff, it looks as if you have to take the handlebars and all the accessories off of the handlebars. Kind of funny deal. Anyway, I'm going to be tinkering with that a little bit. He had the Kickstarter. I know it's in the shade there and it's missing. He had it, he took it off, he laid it down somewhere and can't find it. So, in order for me to start it, I got to get the electric start working because I don't have a Kickstarter that will work on it. But, yeah. Okay. So we'll be looking into that and playing with it a little bit. Alright, we got the plastics off of that little Scrambler 90, and when I took the plastics off, I found the Kickstarter. Now I remember him saying that he didn't think that was right, and he had taken it off because it wasn't right, and now that I see it, I know exactly what he was talking about. It's bent. I don't know how it got bent, but it's bent to where when you put your foot on it to kick it, your foot just slides off. It should be at a 90. This folds up like so, but the way it is, your foot would just slide off of it, making it probably very difficult to do anything with. And you could look at the straight edge from here up through there, and you can see it's got a twist in it. So somehow or another, somebody has bent this. So I'm going to put it in the vise and try to straighten it up. I'm going to give it a little bit of forced cold, and if that doesn't work, I'm going to heat it up. So that's the plan. See if we can't straighten this thing out for him. Here's the rest of the machine. See a lot of loose wires. Been a lot of monkey business going on with this thing. Another classic case of somebody didn't know how to do what they were trying to do, and so they did the best they could, I guess. Anyway, it didn't really work out for them. So anyway, I'm going to try to straighten that out, and then we'll just do little bits at a time until we get this thing ready. Okay, I know it's kind of dark, but there's the kicker, and you may be able to tell I've got it in a vise there. And I got to thinking that when this thing got bent, it wasn't heated up, it was cold. It had to be. It's like they kicked it and it bent. So I'm thinking, put a little piece of something on there for leverage, support it, and just give it a little, just give her a little, and ta-da. So the trick here is to pull it out and check it. Zoom back out of it. And that's way better. I know I bent it. I could feel it move. You know what? I'm going to call that good. Because, I mean, it was down like that. When this part that bolts on the motor shaft was vertical like it's supposed to be, the kicker arm was actually leaning way down like that. So I have actually straightened it back up a lot. And if it goes down just a hair, that's actually not a bad thing, because that way your foot will be prone to slide off of it at the end of the stroke. And then of course it just folds back up on itself. So anyway, we're going to put that on the machine and see what it looks like. Looks good to me. Now I've just got it sitting on there. I don't have it bolted on there proper, but yeah, I'm not going to do anything more to that. That's a lot better than it was. I believe he'll be happy with that. Alright, so as for right now, yeah, shucks. Just got to figure out what I want to do next. Alright, so that's where we're at. Alright, so I have taken off the front tire to look at this, what was a broken spindle. And here it is. And I think if I get it in the light right, you'll be able to see what I'm seeing. I'm hoping it shows up better in the camera than it does as I'm seeing it. But you can see how they just put a globular weld on one side. They did it without taking it apart, just enough to hold it together. When they did, they got this part crooked. It should be flush with the bottom of that. So I'm going to see what I can do about getting it. I beat on it a little bit and that didn't work. It's already welded here. It looks like that's factory. But this should be flush up against the bottom of that and then re-welded. And when they did, they got it offset a little bit so that they never corrected the steering. I'll have to do that after I put it back together. But for right now, I'm just going to try to straighten that up. And we'll see how it goes from there. This part actually catches any groove on the back of the brakes to hold them in place. And it's just barely making it because it's at an off angle. So anyway, I'm going to give her a weld and a little, probably put it in the vise, see if I can't squeeze it back down like it should be. Although I don't know if it will. I don't know, you can see where I pounded on it trying to get it. And I thought it looked like it moved a little, but I'm not sure. But anyway, that's the deal. Okay. Here it is after I put it in a vise and squeezed the stuffing out of it. And I still see a little gap there. But man, it's a lot better than it was. I think I'm going to try to wire brush that down to some good metal and see if I can't get a bead in there to hold it. I'm just trying to get it to where you can see what I'm seeing. The problem is if I put it in the vise and squeeze it to where it's together before I weld it, the way it all sets up, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it with the welder. I don't know, I'm going to monkey with it, see what I can do. I would really like that to be flush like it's supposed to be. Alright, there she is. I put a glob of weld around her. Still hot. And then I got my slag off, wire brushed it, and shot some black enamel on there just to keep it from rusting anymore. And yeah, those little 90 amp 110 Harbor Freight welders work, but they don't make pretty welds. They're just real hard to get pretty welds out of them. Just don't have enough power to get good penetration and good hot molten flowing metal. You actually need a 220 volt something 225 amp welder, and gas is best. But at any rate, I like mine. It's done good for me. Just you got to contend with all the crappy welds you get, and it just makes you strive to be a better welder. Anyway, this I'm secure that, or confident, this will work for him, and it's not going to break loose. And it's straight now, it's straighter. I just didn't put one daub here and one daub there. I layered them up. So anyway, I'm going to put that back together after it cools down, put some grease on everything and reassemble it. And then we can move on to something else with that rascal. Alright, so I threw that tire assembly back on there, and you know, that, what do they call them? The axle shaft, spindle. Put the spindle back on there, and real quick threw the tire on there and everything without even looking, and just kind of loosened up that tie rod end and eyeballed it and threw it all together real quick. And I went in the house and washed my hands, and we went over to the burger joint and got something to eat because neither one of us had eaten today. And got a hamburger, ate, and I could see the tire and everything back on, so I could throw it in the garage while we were gone. And I came back out here to set the alignment, and I did it the way I do all my alignments. I take a tape measure and measure from the center of one tire to the center of the other in the front, and then do the same thing on the back, and keep adjusting it until I get the measurements as close to the same as I can. And I'll be doggone if this thing wasn't right on. Just all I had to do was tighten the nuts up on the tie rod. I didn't have to make not one adjustment. They were just like, wow. So anyway, there it is, and I've just kind of been looking at it, doing some discovery. The electronics are kind of, he said it ran, but the kill switch button is missing. The kill switch actually works. I just fumbled with that. There's a couple of loose ends that I don't know where they go. I think one of them's to an low oil reservoir lamp, and the dash is missing off of this machine. The another little pigtail hanging out there. I don't see anywhere to plug it in. And then two other wires that are twisted together. And I think they may have done this to eliminate the need for a key, although I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look into it. But if it runs, hey. So anyway, I'm going to call it good for today, and go in the house and start processing the video or something. I have to go back to work tomorrow, and I haven't posted a video online for quite a while, so that's what I'm going to do. I want to buy a truck. There's a truck for sale. Got old Blazer with that crate 350. Anyway, yeah, you'd have to come get it. So, anyway, that's what's up. And that's what I've been up to. So, thanks for watching. And keep your stick on the ice. Remember, we're all in this together. Alright, bye.